Ready, set, and welcome everybody to another episode of the Three Count. This is a results and our conversations about Money in the Bank. It's a little late, but we also had AEW Double or Nothing. That'll come up afterwards. We're gonna do two separate shows, and with us we have Benny Thurman the
Yo,
third
yo, what's going on?
and Jaquan Turner.
How y'all
Hola,
doing? How
amigo.
y'all doing?
And it's me again, Paul. All right, so Money in the Bank. Let's let's leave the main card and and that alone for the end because I feel it's going to be a long conversation. Um, so let's start off with the women's match. Wait, let's go with the pre-show. I forgot the pre-show. All right,
What was on
let's
the pre-show
go with
again?
the pre-show. The pre-show,
There was only one match on the pre-show. It was literally
yeah,
Bryan and Rowan against the Usos. That was it.
that was the pre-show. That that pretty much was not what I wanted from a pre-show warm-up match. It
Mhm.
wasn't bad, but it ended how it would have ended. I mean, it was okay match. It wasn't that great. I mean, they did what they could, but it's like I keep saying, the 205 Live is the match to start the pre-show or the match to start the pay-per-view.
I just think it's funny that on two accounts. One, the second that I found out that was a non-title match, I immediately said the Usos were going to win. For no other reason than 50-50 booking, because they just lost the other week. Then, the other thing is, as I brought this up to y'all, Buddy Murphy, since Super Showdown last year, is going out there having 5 star. Well, I ain't gonna say 5 star, but classic after classic after classic after classic, and this man cannot get on the main show. The second he loses the cruiserweight championship, guess what's on the main show?
No,
They
I
don't
know,
want
I
him to
hear
be
you.
great. They don't want him
I
to be
can't.
great. They don't want
And
him
he
to be
hasn't
great.
shown up on TV either.
No, he had that opening promo during the Star Shakeup, and I have not seen. Where's Buddy Murphy?
I don't know.
That's what I would. That's my first question. Where is Buddy Murphy?
The
Because
same
you keep
place where
talking.
Cedric Alexander's at.
But that's my thing though. Cedric Alexander, who is he really gonna face besides Cesaro on Raw? That's really gonna give him a good match. Like outside of Ricochet, maybe. Like, and both of them are baby faces, so like you can't really have a feud with that. My thing
Yeah.
is, Buddy Murphy is a heel, and you're trying to build Mustafa Ali. You can literally run that back because no one, and I repeat, 90% of fans have not seen those two go at it because no one was watching 205 Live.
Yep.
Now, you could have used this to bring back Bray Wyatt. You could have used this to build the feud with Elias and someone. You could have literally done anything else and it would have been better than that match. For the simple reason that they tried to recreate the Usos and the New Day magic. And I'm sorry, Daniel Bryan is great as an individual. Rowan is great with another big guy. Those two together are a terrible tag team. Terrible.
They're,
I don't like
they're
him either,
trying to
man.
do is like
Terrible.
they're trying to redo the Kane and Daniel Bryan angle.
Yeah,
But it's
they're
now
not
Daniel
Team
Bryan
Hell
with
No.
Eric Rowan, but it's not gonna
They're
work.
not. They're not Team Hell No. Stop.
Nah.
Yeah, it's
Stop.
because they never built Rowan. Rowan has
Yeah,
always
exactly.
been sidekick, so
He's
that's
always
why it's
been
not gonna work.
hurt. He's always been hurt. That's the problem.
That's another issue. Yeah.
Hmm.
Now, in terms of the match itself, like, okay, why put the straps on them if you're not going to let them win at pay-per-views? Why do they have the straps? That
Because
is my
Vince don't
like
care about
at
tag
this,
team match
at,
top battles.
still then don't put a tag team match on the card. Like if you really don't care that much, don't even waste everyone's time. Like the Usos didn't need to sit there and get hurt. Daniel Bryan didn't need to risk another concussion. Rowan doesn't
Yep.
need to tear on yet another part of his arm or
Yep.
upper body or tear an ACL. Like why if we're gonna do this, then make it a ladder match. Give me some reason to look at this. There was literally no like I feel bad for the people that showed up early because even though they didn't pay for the pre-show, they still wasted their money. Like
Mhm.
it's a joke at this point. It is a absolute joke. and they literally are just using the Usos to try and build a Raw tag team, and they're not even putting them against actual tag teams. Like you have them against the Revival, who at this point are just waiting for their contract to end.
Yep.
Instead of putting them against War Machine, War Raiders, Viking, whatever their name is this week, and actually giving both teams something to feud for.
They are now known as
I
the
don't
Sarah
know.
Logan experience.
Where is Sarah Logan? That's another one. Where
I don't
is
know.
Sarah Logan? Can we get an APB out on Sarah Logan? Please, somebody. Like, she's one of the final two. She gets screwed at WrestleMania, and then you don't hear nothing from her.
I don't know, man.
No, not even that. She gets screwed at WrestleMania. They take away the Riot Squad.
Yep.
Can we get an APB out for Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan? Because they ain't been seen, along with Buddy Murphy. They must be in like a closet somewhere tied up because Vince just don't like to use his talent.
Well, Liv Morgan is on Instagram. We know where she is.
Liv Morgan's Twitter game is fire. Let's just keep it a buck right now.
Yep.
Liv Morgan's Twitter game is fire. At least she's literally building her career off Twitter at this point.
I'm not mad at her.
True. I'm not mad.
I'm not mad.
No hate. But I mean, because she's bored at this point. She's sitting back. They had her in an online stream of wrestlers watching the show because they don't want wrestlers to just sit in catering anymore. Like, how are you mad that wrestlers are sitting in catering and you don't book them? How, Sway? You could have put a women's match there. You could have started a feud there.
Yep.
How, Sway? How? That's all I'm going to say. How? And this goes back to my original point. They need to bring back the King of the Ring because they can build the King of the Ring all year with a bunch of qualifiers and then come to pay-per-view, build an entire pay-per-view with... You can throw titles in the beginning and just have the King and Queen of the Ring be the main event and just let wrestlers wrestle. A certain other company proved that you can have 2 title matches on a pay-per-view and still put on a 5-star pay-per-view. Cough, cough. Cough, cough. I'm just saying. Stop wasting people's time. Stop wasting people's money. Please. That's all I'm going to say.
I was gonna reach up from my deck of cards to try and throw shade, but they're too far away, and I'm too lazy to get up. But I feel you. Let's get on to that the main card.
First one is the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Really good match.
Yeah,
I like to say.
Sloppy at points
because they're all short.
Right. Sloppy at points has some stuff in it that I was actually fearing for. It's like specifically that Dana Brooke spot when she was hanging off of the briefcase.
Yeah,
I'm like, wow.
I was hoping they did a Edge and Jeff Hardy spot there though. Like I was low key hoping somebody speared her off the briefcase. Like
wow.
Let's go. Wow. Like I was hoping for that. Like because I want to see. The problem is I feel like even though they're pushing women's wrestling, they're pushing Vince's girls.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you have super athletic and talented women all throughout that roster. The only one I saw in this match was Ember Moon.
Yep, spot of the night. In the very first match, spot of the night, you get Ember Moon with that hook from outside the ring to inside the ring, and I feel like Natalya is still dead as a result.
Listen, I love Natalya, but can we make Natalya can we get Instagram Natalya? Like, can we make her a manager? Because like Instagram Natalya is so much more interesting and so much more attractive than in-ring Natalya. I'm sorry. We're gonna keep it like WWE just pissed me off to a point where I'm coming for everybody. I don't care anymore. Like
I like Naomi's outfit, Bumblebee.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's another one. Okay, can we get Naomi? Some more power moves. Like she could have definitely did like a springboard drop kick off Dana Brooke, like on the briefcase. Like something could have happened. Like come on. Like she can pull it off.
Yes, that woman's athletic enough. I think she's probably the most. They talk about Charlotte being athletic. I think Naomi's more athletic than Charlotte. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
On the main roster, absolutely. On the main roster, I want them to have Naomi against Bianca Belair or against the little Lacey Lane. I want to see her against those super athletes.
I think Naomi would be more athletic than Bianca. With Lacey, I have to see more of her matches. She seems like she's athletic, but Not
No,
sure
she's still
where to
raw.
put her.
She's got another 2 or 3 years before she can go up to the main roster. Like she's still
Oh,
really
yeah.
green. But what I like about it is I'm talking about just purely if you're gonna put on a match like that, you need guys like the men had it right. They had the right guys to hit the spots. You need spots. As much as we all love looking at Mandy Rose, she literally has her finisher and like the rest of her moves are BS strikes. Like she has like the bicycle kick and her finisher, and she literally does nothing else. Like I was hyped about Mandy Rose, but I want to actually see her wrestle. Like, can she do a flip? Can she do a leg drop? Can she dive? Can she do anything but taunt? Tell me, please. I'm at a point now where why are we not pushing her partner? What the heck? I can't remember her name. Sonya Deville. Because I've seen Sonya Deville actually put on a good match, no interference. I've not seen that from Mandy Rose. Mm-hmm. Sonya Deville literally carried this match, figuratively and literally. She carried this match.
I don't think people actually understand exactly how difficult what Sonya Deville did in that match was.
She straight up deadlifted. Like Mandy's got to be like a buck, maybe like a $135, pure muscle.
Yep.
She easily deadlifted the chick and climbed up a ladder, placed her on the ladder while still having her balance, and then did a bump off the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, what? Like, how strong is this chick? How, like, what?
Yeah, I can't.
We're still sleeping on Sonya Deville. Like, again, my whole thing is keep the gimmick, change the theme song, please. God, change her theme song.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I don't even know what her theme song is right now.
It sounds like the Vaudevillains theme.
Oh no.
It's just dun, 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 dun. Like you would think that she was Awesome Kong. Like that's what it sounds like. And he's like this little tiny praying mantis looking chick just starts swinging at the air. And I'm like, that don't look right. Like she would look better in Ronda Rousey's entrance than Ronda Rousey did. Because Ronda Rousey just looked like she had the only metal pipe stuck up her booty. Just saying. Like she was stiff as like somebody slapped her in the back with a 2x4 and she just stood there. Like, that's a whole nother issue. But anyway, Sonya Deville was the MVP of this match. Mm-hmm. But I just gotta say,
I would have been pissed.
Oh God! If they would have won like that, that would have been terrible.
I mean, it would have been nothing but it would have been a better rehash of the James Ellsworth one.
Yes. Mm-hmm. At least if you were gonna do it, you should have did it when they first had the first Money in the Bank. Like that would have been fine. No one would have cared.
Mm-hmm.
But then to do like this, this is what I mean by Vince. Just something ain't right. Like he's senile or something. Like he might be sick. We need to get him checked out because something ain't right up here. Because there ain't no way that you think that James Ellsworth thing will work, and then you can do it again with Sonya Deville instead of just doing it with Sonya initially. Because that would have been. My whole thing is, even if they would have done it, you know how much heat Mandy Rose and Sonya would have had off of that?
Yep.
Like, that would have skyrocketed them to, like, the kind of heat that Paige had when she initially came up, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that would have been perfect booking. And it would have been like, okay, now we have legitimate heels. But no, we're going to act like Carmella's a real threat.
Well, here's the one thing that happened there. Like, how real was that issue between her and Mandy? Did you see that?
What, the Carmella one?
Yeah,
that's actually when Jaquan was talking about Mandy Rose before. I was trying not to cut him off. There's actually some beef brewing between the two of them because they're like pretty much going back and forth on Twitter, and they made Carmella delete one of the tweets that she said because she said, "How about you go back to NXT and learn how to work safe?" So, as I said, there's some beef brewing right there.
I know Carmella not talking. Did Mandy say that to Carmella? Said that to Mandy?
Carmella said that to Mandy.
I know sis is not talking about working safe or working period. Sis, you have one move in your arsenal. You literally just kick people in the head and your super kicks have only gotten better because you were champion and we had to watch you. That's the pot calling the kettle black because both of them need to go back
No,
to NXT.
she has.
If we keeping
she
it a buck.
like a submission move too.
Oh,
hell
you
is
mean
that?
that BS triangle? That it looked like
Yeah.
a triangle almost. Yeah, but
Yeah.
like it's not even like a move that she can catch somebody with where it looks like a wrestling move. It's like, oh, I just dropped you. Okay, I'm gonna wrap my legs around you and pull. And it's like, no, I don't even believe that, bro. Like we know Charlotte let you have that one because Vince was like, I need another blonde because Charlotte needs to get her boobs fixed and probably do some squats.
Oh, it would have
I'm
been
just
interesting,
saying.
I think, if Sonya climbed it up and pulled it off.
If
Pulled the
like if you're gonna do the
briefcase
thing from
off.
the main event, I would have rather it had been Sonya Deville to do that, not Brock Lesnar. I'm just saying. Tell me that would have been way more interesting for Sonya Deville to take somebody out backstage, somebody irrelevant. Sorry, Dana. I mean, Dana was fine, but like she could have taken like Dana didn't need to be
Carmella.
in that match.
Carmella ain't to be in that match.
I really forgot Carmella was in that match. We talking about it. I forgot she was in
That's
the match.
because she didn't do anything. She got the little
No.
injury. She walked off. She came back, and then she got taken out.
Like,
Yeah.
bro, you really
Like,
could have dropped
she
a
was-
couple of lead pipes on her in the back and been like, "Oh, she's injured. Oh no," and then have Sonya come out and win.
Didn't even
Like-
because Sonya was at ringside the whole time. So it just having Sonya just like, oh, everybody's down. All right, I'm gonna climb up and I'm gonna
Exactly.
You know what actually would have been funny though, if instead of doing that, like having her come out, have her do the same thing she basically did. Have her pull Mandy up to the top of the ladder and everything like that. But before Mandy gets ready to pull the thing off, Sonya grabs her arm like,
Or like when she's in like the deadlifting, she's like, "Come on, Mandy, come on," and then she looks up at it and was like, "Sorry,
Nah.
Mandy." Wow, and with the AA.
See, I thought
through a ladder,
that was
would've
gonna
been
happen.
So hype.
I
That would have
thought
been
that
I
so
would have
hype.
died.
Yo, that
I would-
I would have died.
Honestly, that would have offset the Brock Lesnar thing completely. I wouldn't have cared about the Brock Lesnar thing because I'm like, you know what? Sonya Deville's a real G for that.
I thought she was gonna do it because I saw Karen. I was like, no, is she gonna? No, she's climbing up. I
Bro,
was like, she's
that
gonna
would've-
do this. Then I was like, oh, you guys ruined the moment.
I
Moment
couldn't even
could've
tell.
done.
I couldn't even tell you that was a heel turner now. Like I can't even classify that as a heel turn because
I would have loved it. I would have
I don't
loved
care.
it.
everybody, I'm telling you, she would have gotten the biggest pop on
Yep.
the face of the planet.
Oh yeah, and moving.
You know
on,
what?
let's
You
go
know
to
what would
the-
have been funny?
Okay.
If Bailey would have honestly like gotten up there and they would have looked at each other, she would have smirked and then AA Mandy.
Turn on Mandy to align with Billy.
Tell me that wouldn't have been dope though.
Before we move on, so what are you guys' thoughts on Bailey winning it?
It could have been one of two things. She absolutely needed it. She absolutely needed it because you had to do something to rebuild her character, especially after all of the nonsense that was going on with her on Raw. And this isn't even just over the last year because I had brought up the stats and everything that they had before, and they were saying that her and Sasha had gone out there and faced the Riot Squad literally like 70 times. It was stupid. But she needed it going all the way back to when she lost the Women's Championship. Because they have been ruining her character ever since. And this right here, this entire night, from her winning the one Money in the Bank to going on later in the evening and then winning the SmackDown Women's Championship, was absolutely needed for her. And I honestly hope that they give her the run that she deserves this time.
Honestly, they ruined her character since I think a month after she got up there, and it just made it worse when they had her and Sasha go to that whole therapy thing. It just went
That
down.
was
the
just dumb. That was
The
just dumb.
tag team was a way to actually bring them back, but they put them back even worse further when they lost it in Mania. It was, we go back to that again. That made no sense. But I like the fact that was my pick to win it, and for that reason alone, she needed it. Her character needed it. She needed a build up. I just didn't expect her to do what she did later that night, though, which we'll get to later on. The next match is the U.S. Championship match, which was between Rey Mysterio and Samoa Joe. This
Ah,
one was
the
called off
first of the
early because of
botches.
injury. This was called off early because of his injury. Apparently, not just Joe broke his nose, but Ray got a shoulder injury.
It just looked bad. Like,
Yeah.
it. You can call it, and I get it. It just looked bad. Like, and if you're gonna do it, then you guys better have a backup angle because Dominic should have gotten involved.
Yep.
At the end, when he went back and came back and he's challenging Dominic, I'm like, listen, I get the kid is like 18, 19, and you don't want to sign him. But Rey Mysterio's his father. He understands the risk. We all know the risk. Let the boy take a bump. Or let him get a super kick, or let him get a springboard, whatever his style is gonna be, because he looks like he's gonna be more of a Joe than he is gonna be a Ray. To keep it a buck, he's gonna be more of a powerhouse anyway. So let him get a clothesline in, let him get a headbutt in.
Well, he's training to be a wrestler anyway.
Yeah,
so it's not like that's really a problem. They should just let it go.
Like let him get a little rub, like let him get a little something. Like, come on, bro. And not to mention, Ray is talking about for his retirement match, he literally wants to have the torch pass where he gives Dominic the mask and Dominic puts on the mask. Yep. Which I might cry. I might cry for that one. Like, that one I might cry for. I got choked up with Dustin and Cody. I definitely might boo-hoo cry for that one.
Which we'll talk about on the next episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly, I couldn't care much for this match. Really didn't.
I could care less for this feud, period. The U.S. title at this point is worse than the television title. It is worse than it is the equivalent of like the Ring of Honor World Championship when nobody heard about Ring of Honor.
Yep.
Like, to be in the U.S. and know that the U.S. title means nothing is the equivalent to having Trump as president. Yes, I said it. It is just useless. It is literally. It is just like what I honestly feel. I feel like they need to repackage the U.S. title. They need to completely just repackage. It needs something. Like, we need, like, at least with Kevin Owens, even though I hated his character with the U.S. title, it created someone who fit the U.S. title, which is, again, you have EC3, you have Bobby Roode sitting there, two guys who are primed for that kind of button-up American Wall Street, whatever you want to put it, kind of gimmick, where you can elevate the U.S. title that way and, again, bring back the open challenge and whatever. Putting it on a big star is not going to elevate it. It's just going to cheapen the title because it's just it's a consolation prize for stars that should have won world titles, and Vince is too afraid to pull the trigger because, he's too busy dry humping Brock Lesnar's leg or something. I don't know. Like, it's honestly,
that's an image I'm never going to get out of my mind.
They need to repackage the U.S. title. Like, we need a new look. You need a new tournament. Like, at this point, truthfully, I would look into bringing back the Great American Bash for that reason alone and do a Great American Bash tournament for the U.S. title.
I have wanted the Great American Bash as a pay-per-view back for years because it's iconic. It's not...
Yeah. Instead of having stomping ground, like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
What? Like, if NXT had NXT stomping grounds, that would make sense to me. But if you're already on the main card and you're calling your thing stomping ground and you got guys who've been there 11, 12, 13 years, what are they done stomped over this? They done literally traveled everywhere. What are they stomping over at this point?
Absolutely
like they done been here. They done
except
been
their own
here.
careers.
Yeah, like, at this point, they just run around in circles like little special babies. Like, no, stop. Come on.
Yeah, no. The reason I could care less about this match was, one, it's the U.S. title. There's no mystique to it anymore. It's dead. Two, feud between these two guys, the carry on from Mania, but there was basically not that much basis for it. What's their beef about? What are they fighting about?
Joe
Nothing.
wants to be a big man, and Rey Mysterio is a small guy.
You see,
Vince,
but you see what I
that
mean?
doesn't work anymore. Literally, there are kids in elementary school that are beating up fat kids because of this. There are little small children beating up fat kids. Stop it. That dynamic doesn't work anymore.
But you see what I mean?
Stop.
It's like there was no build to this feud. It was just like me, Joe, you, Ray, we fight. Urgh.
Yep.
Not to mention, Joe is
Like-
such a good, like, he's so good on the mic and he's such
He
a
is.
good wrestler that it's like, dude, if you're gonna give him a feud, like at least with the Roman Reigns feud, it made sense. Like, Joe felt slighted because Reigns gets a certain amount of admiration. Like, if you're gonna have Joe beat up on somebody, Joe versus Kofi makes sense. What are they on Raw now? All right, Joe versus like Cedric
No, walk the
Alexander.
route. It can go anywhere it wants.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Round card rule. Like, Joe going after Kofi makes sense to me. Joe going after Seth after how Joe debuted, and him and Joe never really had the feud to culminate it because they had to rush that feud to get to the Triple H feud.
Hmm.
Joe going after the U.S. title makes sense to me. You add in McIntyre, who's really a hybrid, and he's just like, I don't care if I'm good, bad, or ugly. I just want the title. That's a feud right there. You can even throw in Elias if you want to rub Elias that way.
Oh God.
Because
Why?
at this point, that's what Elias is. It's just he's an extra body to take a pin. When realistically, he would be the perfect guy to elevate the U.S. title because his gimmick works with the U.S. title. Him clowning on every American city works if he's U.S. champion. It makes so much more sense.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Like, why are we wasting him?
I hadn't even thought about it like that.
Not to
Neither did
mention,
I. Neither did I.
He's a country singer who's a drifter. Like, I thought of this in 3 seconds, and creative hasn't come across Vince's desk. I mean, dang.
Well, here's the thing. Like they were saying, this might actually have come across Vince's desk, and Vince probably shot it down. Because as they
Why?
keep saying, we're writing for an audience of one.
What about this? What Vince not love? Like, he loves the dark haired,
It's
long
his
Triple
idea.
H looking body guys that like he
It's
can
not his
massage
idea.
oil all over in the back before he gets them hyped. He has
it's
the
gotta
whole
be-
guitar.
It's got to be his idea, bro. If it's
Mhm.
not his idea, it's not gonna work, no matter how good it is. Why do you think he hated Becky Two Belts? Why do you
Because
think he
Becky came
hesitated?
up with Becky Two Belts.
Yeah. Why do you think he had an issue with Becky being a main card star? Because he didn't push her. She pretty much just did it on her own by being who she was.
Mhm.
It was something natural. He doesn't like that.
Literally,
He wants to do it his way.
No, you know what's crazy? None of her gimmicks have been his idea. All his ideas for her have been shot. Like
Yep.
the whole even the Irish last kicker thing came from her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she built that.
She had to. Did you see
That
when
just
she
goes to
first came
show
out?
bro.
Yeah, the dancer.
I don't know, bro. Bro, tell me how, bro. I went to
I can't, yo. I honestly
Like,
can't.
this is what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. She had to build herself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of the reason why he didn't like her, because she built herself. A lot of her
Hey,
following came from her building herself.
you know
don't
what's
think that.
crazy? You know what's crazy though? Is I remember listening to several different podcasts and interviews from a lot of older wrestlers saying that this generation, all they do is complain and they never go to Vince with ideas. And this came from a guy like John Cena. And I'm like, well, now I know that that's BS. Because I feel like everybody goes to Vince with ideas, but everyone's stopped and they're afraid to go to him now because he shoots everything down. Like, I thought this whole Sammy thing was his idea. I'm hearing now that Vince is in his ear.
That's
telling him what to
Vince.
say.
That's legitimately Vince McMahon voicing his gripes to the fans.
And you know what's great? Is that it's actually good. It's like, listen, stop trying to control everything. Let everybody else. And if you're pissed at them, get you a guy that has nothing else to do, a la Titus O'Neil. Make him your mouthpiece and make us hate him. That's what you did with Jinder Mahal. And Jinder Mahal had a great run as a heel. The only reason why I respect Jinder Mahal is because I actually hated the guy. And I'm like, listen, if like with the Miz, the reason why I respect the Miz, and he can do no wrong to me, even though he's having the most terrible face run I think I've seen in recent history, is because he was so good as a heel that I hated the like. It was one of those like, yo, don't come around my block because I might just snuff you. Kind of like, I hate this guy. Like, I want to throw like a stick in front of his car and blow out his tire. Kind of hate.
That's why I say he's to me, he's one of the best underrated heels in history.
Yes, I completely. And he's one of the best Intercontinental champions in history, and he will never get that recognition up until he retires.
No, probably not even then.
No, it'll take him a couple of years. Like, think about it. We still don't talk
That's
about
the sad
Honky
part.
Tonk Man's great run. We still don't talk about, like, Mr. Perfect as much as we should. We still don't talk about, you know, the Ravishing Rick Rude as much as we should. And they were all great Intercontinental champions.
But here's the thing they have in common. They all clashed against Vince, or they betrayed Vince at one point or another. That's why they're not brought up.
Yeah. And it's sad. We don't even talk about Triple H, how great an Intercontinental champion Triple H was. Like, people forget he had every title except for maybe the hardcore title, I think.
He didn't do the U.S.
And, well, he was already too deep into the main card when the U.S. title came around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which to me, even if you're gonna elevate the U.S. title, you can do what he did to Roman Reigns with the world title. Like, I would even at this point, I'm so desperate, I would put the strap on Triple H to elevate the title. Like, if you're gonna make a title disappear, for 2 months, can we do the U.S. title, please?
The reign of terror 2.0.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, right.
Give me the U.S. title then. Put the U.S. title on Brock Lesnar. Let him cash in on Joe. If you want to elevate a title, I mean, if you really trying to make championships great again, put him on the U.S. title. Brock Lesnar's the U.S. champion would be amazing because then we would never see him and we never see that title. We would just forget. And I'd be perfectly okay with that. I'd be astronaut. And then you can call him Mr. America for living in the mountains with Sable. I don't care.
Talking about the Miz, let's move on. Talk about the Miz. The steel cage match.
Terrible. Excuse me for going Stephen A. Smith, but stay off the weed, Vince.
Yep.
Stop. Your son is not a good wrestler. He may be a good technical fighter. He is a terrible wrestler. Within 5 minutes, the man looks like he's literally swam the beginning leg of a triathlon. He literally can. The only thing he's good at is taking bumps. And then for you to have him win by slipping his sweaty ass out of his jersey. Are we serious? Are we?
Oh. Yeah,
Yo,
somebody like I've never wished for someone to tear their ACL so bad in my life. Like, just come on, bro.
Ooh,
Like, he's not Shane O'Mac anymore. Like, Shane O'Mac was smooth. This man, he looks like that old dad still trying to dance with his kids at the birthday party. Stop. Just stop. Please. And stop acting like Shane is a privilege to feud with because Vince thinks so highly of you that I'm going to make you fight my son. Bro, you kicked your son out the company for like 10 years. Stop acting like you care about your kids. We know you lying. Stop it. Just stop. Stop.
Benny?
This is what I mean by the beginning of the thing was terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, man, trust me. I completely understand. Like, I sat up there. There's nothing that I could say that Jaquan hasn't already said about this, other than the fact that the moment that I saw Shane start showing up on Raw, I was just like, he's winning this match. I was like, he's going to win this match just because of the fact that, and it's funny because, you know, you got people starting to call him the Omni Shane because he's just omniversal. He's in every freaking universe in the WWE. It's starting.
Can we put him? Then put him on 205 Live.
Why? So he could beat Tony Nese to take the Cruiserweight Championship?
Listen, I'd actually like 205 Live. if we gonna do this, at least make it so that it's interesting for everybody. Like, I'd rather Shane show up and face Velveteen Dream for the North American title, make it a
Heck
triple threat match.
No,
Listen,
please.
we trying to
no.
we out here giving random people rubs now. So I mean,
Nah, bro.
let Velveteen elbow drop him for a couple. Imagine Shane trying to do a coast to coast on Velveteen and Velveteen hitting him with the purple rainmaker. Come on now, that's pretty. Listen, I want to see Velveteen. If we're gonna sit up here and put Shane in fantasy matches, since he's a daredevil, put him in the Hell in a Cell with Velveteen Dream and show me what's up. I want to see Velveteen throw him off the Hell in a Cell.
No.
That's it.
If he wants Daredevil matches, he should get in a match with Ricochet.
Oh, please, book it, please.
Matter of fact, how about let's just write him off TV? Let's put him in a match with Matt Riddle and get it over with.
Oh yeah, please. Oh God, please. Just have him palm smack him until he stops breathing.
Yes.
Like just hit him in the heart real quick.
Like legit just smack the sweat off of him.
Give the first 2 rows like towels ready to prepare them to dry off. The sweat coming off.
I'm telling you, bro. Yep. Smack him in his chest real quick. Just make him tap out off of just getting elbowed in the neck. Just say I quit. Say I quit. Say I quit.
Oh
God. Just make Shane go away. Just make the McMahon like at this point I miss Stephanie. And that says a lot.
No, please don't talk her up.
No,
God,
that's where we're at right now. That's where we're at right now. That's really where we're at right now. Like, come on, bro.
Please don't talk her up.
No, please. Moving on. Cruiserweight match. Tony Nese versus Daivari. Pretty good match. I like 5 matches. I like 2 of 5 matches. It was well placed right after the steel cage match, way after the Mysterio match. It gave us something good to bring your attention back to the event.
3 stars. Needed. 3 stars. Solid match.
Yeah.
And actually, I like what they're doing with Nese and Daivari, where like they kind of told the story of like when they were both kind of small and new, and now those guys are bigger. They're like quote unquote main event 205, live things. And like Daivari really like rebuilt his body a la Jinder Mahal. I buy it. And just if you look at his style, he's a very heelish kind of, he's gonna really try to work over certain parts of your body. Like you can see his evolution in his wrestling style. So like I really dug this match. And I'm really digging Tony Nese as champion. I'm not buying him as a legit champion, but I'm digging the run.
He's a holder, title holder. That's fine. I just thought it was funny that they had him come out kind of like Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, why are you rehashing that? Come on, bro. Like, why?
Didn't my man botch getting out the car? Like, he almost fell over or something. I swear, yo. They gotta figure out some way to actually...
Sir, yeah, I need to show up to rehearsal. That's what that is.
You need to show up to
rehearsal, sir. Because you sounded like somebody who just handed you the keys and was like, okay, we're going to do this.
But,
sir.
Come on, man. Getting out of a car. How much
that.
skill to take out of a car?
Apparently a lot.
They should have just had him they should have just gave him a driver and had somebody open the door for him just to make it easier. Like, let's not risk injury here. Can't we do that?
Didn't they do it with JBL?
Exactly.
Back in the day when JBL was doing his thing?
Exactly.
Yeah, he came up in the limo.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Like, I know y'all got talent back there. That y'all could have put Montez Ford in a hat or something.
Bruh.
And just had him, like... Listen,
you had guys like CM Punk playing random gangsters for John Cena. Like, it's possible.
Like, you had dudes randomly doing this for WrestleMania entrances.
Uh-huh.
Because John Cena didn't have enough people. Like, y'all could have got this man a driver. Like, put some respect on his name, even though you can't pronounce it.
Call it Dan Boober.
That's what I'm saying. Do something. I would have came in and drove for him, and I can't even drive. 3 feet, bro. I know how to hit the ignition and press stop. Might have got a little whiplash, but we'd have been all right.
Moving on. Let's get the squash match out of the way. Roman Reigns and Elias. It's
Next.
out the way. It's that one's out.
Next.
Go ahead, Benny. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I wasn't expecting anything from that match. I didn't care about it to begin with, and that was the only way that match should have gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When they
Can
put
we
that
get
match on,
Roman
I was
another
like, okay.
finisher? That's all. Can we get Roman another finisher?
What are you gonna give him? Samoan drop?
I don't know.
That
Give
goes
him
to Nia.
his
Give him the
old
Superman
finisher
kick.
Give him a big boot or something. Like didn't he have another finisher in NXT? I know he had
Give him the
another one.
Superman kick.
It was something. Give him something. Like
He's got to let him do a power bomb. I mean, he does the power bomb, well, the triple power bomb. Let him do it by himself.
let him do a real jackknife power bomb. Like let him get the big sexy Diesel jackknife power bomb or something.
Yeah, the release power bomb that Nash used to do. Yes.
Or let him do the Razor's Edge. Like the Razor's Edge would be fine. Something.
I don't know if you could pull that off because that was that's too close to the Celtic Cross that Sheamus used to do.
Right, I forgot Sheamus used to do that.
Yeah.
He's another one that might be gone.
Yeah, and that's sad.
That's
That's
sad, but I mean,
the hypnosis thing.
I mean,
It can't
it
get
is
rid
what
of
it
his head on
is.
him.
Like, you keep getting kicked in your head, you keep getting whiplash, dude. How many times did Sheamus get kicked in the back of the head, bro? Like, just dating back from Ruthless Aggression. He got kicked in the head a lot. Like, bro, he took some licks. So, like,
Yeah.
and literally, truthfully though, what else does he really have to do? He's literally won every title outside of like the European title. He's won every other title. Yeah, he's like a triple crown Grand Slam champion.
I think the old Grand Slam, yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't even count the new Grand Slam because there's like 2. Like the only other guy that's like it's Roman and Seth, really.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't count that unless you have 5 people do it. That's like saying like, somebody needs to break Kareem's record. Just it's not gonna happen until we have like a 5-point line. So
Moving on to the Becky matches. Let's start with the Raw Women's Championship match.
All right, first off, Vince, you trash for this. You trash for this, bro. Like, really? Even if you gonna do this, if you gonna sit up here and let Becky get like blindsided or like, if she got chop blocked, make it like tell Becky that she's supposed to sell the knee, please. Don't just chop block her and act like everything's all good and gravy. I thought that's what the chop block was for. It was for her to sell the knee.
Oh, I can't go.
And then you like just let's continue. Just so many thoughts.
Yeah, this whole thing, like, in hindsight, because of how everything ended up with now Bayley being the SmackDown Women's Champion, it makes it better, but it's still not good in my eyes. Because you had the opportunity, as I was saying, to make Lacey Evans actually look really good. Had you put the Charlotte match first and had Becky and Charlotte go at it and just beat the living hell out of each other, and then have Lacey come out right after, a la just like how Charlotte did, and be like, I want my match right now. All right? You push her to the limit, and then you have her lose strong. That way you sit up there, you still keep Becky as, Captain Badass. All right? Charlotte doesn't look bad because of the fact that, she went out there and she pushed Becky to the limit. And now Lacey, because of the fact that she went out there and almost took the title away from the double champ. Regardless of whether she was tired or not, Lacey, who most people don't believe should have been in the spot, would have looked better just by being in that position the way that I had explained it. But because of the fact they want to sit up there and they want to have Charlotte break Ric Flair's record, you go out here and you give her a meaningless title run legitimately just to be a transitional champion for Bayley. And as I said, I love the fact that Bayley is the champion. That is not a slight on her. It's just the fact that this should have been done so much better.
I think two, the reason why it wasn't done the way you said it was because they didn't want Bailey to pin Becky.
Yeah.
Because that would have elevated Bailey way too much, way too fast.
Here's my count. Here's my one counter to that. Instead of having Bailey come in and cash in tonight, have Bailey say, "Listen, Becky, we came up through NXT together. I'm not coming up on you like that. I'm going to tell you exactly when I'm going to cash this thing in. We are going to SummerSlam. This is going to be cashed in at that point. I hope you are still champion then, because we are going to burn this house down."
See, you that would be a very NXT thing to do. And I'm going to leave that statement right there. That would be a very NXT thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
See, I like the way you were saying you wanted Charlotte match first and Lacey match, but at that point, Becky would have to win both matches.
Yeah.
And,
That's why I would have wanted her to win both matches.
but going into this, remember I kept telling you, Vince hated the whole Becky 2 belts, which is why I said in my pick'ems I had Becky winning the Raw match against Lacey, but losing against Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turned out that Bailey cashed in on Charlotte. And
if you're really gonna have Becky lose, you've got to do it in a way like, I get Lacey interfered with the women's rights, which we really don't even see as a legitimate, because literally Becky has gotten up from every women's right and beat the snot out of Lacey, so I don't even see it as like a legitimate finisher.
Not only
But
that,
she does it.
Go ahead. I got something to finish with that.
Because, like, she did it, and then, like, Charlotte just kind of... I don't even remember if she pinned her off the women's right, or if it was like a roll-up, and then Charlotte did something else.
She did.
And then it...
That's what I was going to say.
She rolled her up.
Yeah. I was going to talk about that, too. That was a horrible ending. That was a horrible ending. So
I'm like, you don't even lose to the women's right. You still lose.
Right? She gets hit with the woman's right. Charlotte pins her almost immediately right afterwards. She kicks out of it. Then, like, she gets up and Charlotte gives her a boot, and that's it. Night over.
Yeah, like my whole thing is, if you're gonna do that, then at least let Charlotte hit the natural selection.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing. You ruined Lacey's finisher, and now you're giving Charlotte the big boot. Like, that's her finisher now. What happened to natural selection? Natural selection is way more believable than a big boot, because even though Charlotte is tall, she's not that big. So, like, I understand she has man feet, but she ain't knocking nobody out with them things. Like, listen, Andrade is tapping that. I don't believe she's that strong. That's just me. I don't buy her, like, I don't buy the big boot thing. Like, I get it as, like, a comeback situation where she's using it to try and neutralize somebody else's comeback, or even as, like, a signature. But as her finisher, with her winning matches with the big boot, that's dumb. Yeah. Like, at least give her, like, a Halula kick kind of big boot where, like, she can show off her athleticism and her flexibility.
If it's like a running big boot, I can see that.
Yeah.
Or if it was a super kick.
Yeah.
If it was a super kick, I would be like, all right, cool. I can deal with that. I can
lift her like that high?
Like, she's not Big Show. Like, no. That's so dumb.
Yo, like, to me, honestly, the big boot as a finisher hasn't felt legitimate since Test was doing it.
Yeah, but look at Test. Like, you get kicked by that dude, you best believe you wasn't getting up. I wish you would get up, cause then he hit you with that full Nelson bomb, and that was it for you.
Yep.
So, but like Charlotte doing it, I'm like, you just passing it over to blondes at this point. Like, if they over 5'6", then you just gonna let them do big boots and act like it's a thing. It's not a thing. Like, unless it's Tamina or Nia Jax, it's not a thing.
I don't even like Nia Jax doing it.
I don't even like Nia Jax trying to kick somebody. I'm scared she's gonna tear her ACL again.
Yeah.
Honestly, like,
leave Nia alone.
I ain't trying to wish nothing else.
I love me some Nia. Don't get me wrong. Just don't be kicking nobody. Sis. Like, you can leg drop. Just please don't kick nobody. I'm scared for her health.
Man.
Please.
Here's the thing, though. Like, when you're watching this, and after the Raw Women's match was over, like, Did you really expect anything else? I mean, what else was after this? The championship matches and the men's Money in the Bank match. Like,
Well,
when
I was
was Charlotte?
expecting a
Like, it
roll
was
up
kind of
with
given.
like, I was expecting like a roll up with like her feet on the ropes, or
Oh,
like
no,
she
no.
pulls the tights. That's what
I
I was
mean,
expecting.
no. What I mean is, once the women's Raw championship match was started, you had to know that the SmackDown was coming right afterwards. Because
I
if you
didn't
look
even
what
know.
was
I
left,
wasn't even paying attention.
yeah. But if you were, I'm saying, if you were paying attention, if you had looked at what was left, it's like, where else is there to go?
True.
It has to come after.
True.
I mean, the only thing that you could have done is to put them between the two men's championship matches. But even then, like, why would you do that? It's just-
I mean, truth be told, I would have loved it to be like a Austin situation when it was Austin and Chris Jericho, where like you just see the guy come out, don't even really like get entrance music. She just comes out with like one title, throws it on the floor, and it's like, let's do it. And it's a quick situation.
I just think the Lacey match took longer than expected. I thought it was going to be a quick, like, 7-minute match.
Well, Becky had to carry her, and Becky's not the type to carry a match. And I think that's the one knock I have on Becky is that she can't carry someone with lesser talent. And like that's more athletic than her. She needs someone. That's why her and Charlotte are so good together, because Charlotte is more athletic, but she's equally as skilled.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think it's hard with Lacey because Lacey is so raw. Remember, she didn't spend that much time in NXT. You can't fault Becky for too much of the match at all. Lacey, she's freaking raw. She's so raw. She is so raw.
Lacey and Candice LeRae would have been a good feud for Lacey to have to really grow up. I'm just saying. It would have been great for her right now.
They were building that in NXT, but they never went anywhere with it.
Because Vince called her up. It was Vince
that
called her up. Triple H never
I know.
Let her go, and I'm like,
I know. That's what I'm saying. They were starting to build that one. They were starting to build that one in NXT. And I was like,
made
yes,
so much
okay.
sense because like I wanted her to just make out with Johnny Gargano, and then like turn on everybody and join Undisputed Era. Like that would have been so sick for me.
Oh man,
that would have been dope. But then like you just ruining good things now, and I think that's why NXT is starting to suffer now because now they feel like they have to put a rush on their talent because if they don't get through storylines, Vince is just gonna steal stars now.
Yeah, because they got gutted. They honestly got gutted towards the end of the year, going into WrestleMania, because they sat up there. They called up all 6 of those guys from back in December. We had like the Heavy Machinery and all of the rest of them came up, and then did literally nothing. And then you had this other call up where you had the Ricochet, Aleister Black, and Johnny Gargano and Ciampa before they had to. Send Gargano back down there after Ciampa got hurt. But what killed it as well is the fact is they called them up with literally contradicting storylines to what was going on down in NXT.
Because Vince don't watch NXT.
Right. Which to me, honestly makes no sense. And granted, I'm not in the position. I'm also not a 75-year-old man. So I don't know what's going on in his head.
Listen, man, at this point, you could listen to it on your phone while you take a nap, because that's really all you're doing.
No, what I'm saying is one would think that if you're going to make a move that big, you need to kind of sort of know what's going on and how it is that move is actually going to affect everything that happens because of it. Like, you can't sit up here and drop a meteor into the ocean and not expect a tidal wave as a result.
That's a really good metaphor, actually. I'm really digging that metaphor.
Like, it's just, that's pretty much what he did. Like, you sat up there and you took the top 4 talents. I don't know if you could call Ricochet top talent or whatever that was on NXT.
And NXT
Aleister Black is just in the NXT title picture. Tommaso Ciampa was the NXT champion, and you had Johnny Gargano, who was literally had just won the North American Championship and then dropped it right after that. And
well, let's be fair. We knew
guys,
Johnny wasn't going to keep that title for long anyway.
Nah. But either way, you got guys because, matter of fact, what's the name? If I remember correctly, Gargano won it off of Ricochet, didn't he?
Yes.
There you go. So you had guys with the top 2 men's titles in NXT. All 4 of them had those belts at some point, or was in that title picture in Aleister Black's case at some point in the last 6 months. You had storylines that had been built up for years that were getting ready to culminate in the next couple of months, and Vince was just like, "Nah, fuck that. I don't care. I don't care. I want them up right now because I have no stars on my roster right now." Not remembering the fact, or not even accepting the fact, that the reason that you don't have stars is because you didn't build any. You put all of your eggs
and you
in the 2
overworked
baskets.
the ones that you had. You overworked the ones that you had. That's why all of them got hurt at the same time.
Oh, I'm sorry, not 2 baskets. You put it all in 3 baskets. Charlotte, Roman Reigns, and Brock Lesnar. Those were your stars. I'm not even counting Ronda Rousey in the things you didn't build her. Ronda Rousey came in as a star. So, like, just every single bit of the problem that happened with that was solely on him gutting NXT, and why you have this big issue with the fact that somebody like Lacey Evans shouldn't have been pushed into the position to begin with, but seeing that she was there, had she been better prepared for it, you don't have this issue where it is that you got somebody trying to carry her through a championship match on a pay-per-view. That should not have happened.
No, it really shouldn't have. Not even, like, bro, my thing is, too, is, like, why didn't she have any warm-up matches? Like, you just got her walking back and forth. Like, you're literally abusing the Riot Squad to like, fight Sasha and Bayley. And I'm like, Ruby Riott, to me, is the Dolph Ziggler of the women's division, where, like, Ruby Riott is an incredible talent. Like, she is phenomenal. Like, she should have been champion in NXT. She should have been Raw or SmackDown Women's Champion 2 or 3 times over. She is incredible. But she also is used to working with lesser talent.
Yep.
So she could have taught Lacey. They could have had a feud. And you don't have to change either person's character, because what does Ruby Riott look like? A nasty. There's no, you need no build for this. It is sitting there for you. Sarah Logan literally.
Well, when she's in her ring gear, she looks like a nasty.
All right. I'm talking about. I'm saying, you look at what a stereotypical quote unquote nasty would be. It would be someone who claims to be different, a la the Riot Squad. She could have literally picked off every single one of them and would have had at least 3 months of matches leading up to a title match.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, then you would have gotten more exposure for Sarah Logan, who is surprisingly good when given the space to be, dating back to the Mae Young Classic, where she put on 2 incredible matches. Well, I knew she would be a star. And then they just kind of, okay, we're gonna ship you onto the main roster. And I'm like, no, you have to build her on NXT. And Liv Morgan, who is getting better every time she's in the ring, whenever she can get in the ring, because you won't book her in anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not rocket science, guys. And I can't even blame the writers anymore. Like, because I'm sure they've fleshed through in these entire storylines 4 and 5 and 6 times over to build multiple stars. Multiple. It's Vince like, oh no, they don't need to be in a match. We need more time for Charlotte.
Yep.
Why, bro? Like, literally, Charlotte with Dana Brooke was the best Charlotte to me, because she barely wrestled. All she did was cut promos. And I actually didn't like her, for the reason that I just didn't like her as a character, which is I wasn't supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I knew she was good. Now you just don't like her because she's always on your screen for no reason, and always in her ring gear for some reason. Notice that. The thing I don't get about today's, and I can say universally, today's WWE, is that guys come out and cut promos in their ring gear, which never used to happen. When you come out and cut a promo, you had your ring gear under whatever, like, sweatsuit or something you had on. So at least We just thought you were coming out there to talk trash. If you were gonna have a match, you threw your stuff off and had a match.
Hell, you had a
Like,
guy like Austin who would come out there in cut off jean shorts.
Yeah, he was out there
Yeah.
promoting Wrangler right along with freaking Brett Favre. Like, those were the
Mhm.
two like '90s spokesmen from Wrangler. Like, Austin barely wore his ring gear, honestly, unless he really had a fight.
Yep.
Like, I don't understand that. And then now they got jegging, so like you can't sit up here and tell me you can't put fake leggings on and have a chick have a match. Like, come on, bro. I'm just saying, bro. Like, all this don't make no sense to me. Like, this is not complicated stuff. It is literally small tweaks in a pay-per-view that make the pay-per-view bearable.
Yep.
Especially
Anyway.
when they have so many matches.
Yeah, like, and you got your own network, so it's not like we even dealing with pay-per-view time or network time. We're not dealing with any of that. You can actually take the time to do this stuff because it's on your network. It don't make sense.
Nah.
Yeah. No, I
Doesn't make
think it was regular pay-per-view. You have the ones that are network specific, and then you have ones that are pay-per-view. So the ones that are pay-per-view, they have a time limit, I think, because of the arena. AEW had the same issue with All In last year and Double or Nothing last night. Been going on Universal Championship, AJ Styles and Seth Rollins.
Great match.
Yes,
Great
absolutely great match. Like we said it in the chat, that match right there was as close to an NXT match as you're going to get on the main roster.
Uh-huh.
And the thing about it, though, from what I was
AJ
listening
Styles
to,
10 years ago versus
Yeah.
this Seth Rollins. Oh my God.
from what I was listening to from some of the guys that were also reviewing this, because I haven't seen either one of them on the indies. I saw AJ in TNA, but I haven't seen New Japan AJ. I haven't seen Seth Rollins from on the indie scene and things like that. So I don't know what it is an indie match would be like between the two of them, but from what I was hearing, the two of them put on enough of a match to say we still have more in the tank, so look forward to it. And I'm like, ooh, I can't wait.
I think, to me, an indie match is, hey, you're going over, and you're taking the pin. All right, put on a show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's to me as an indie match. Why? Because you have independent guys. Let me bring in Seth, and you're wrestling my local guy here. He's up and comer. All right, Seth, you're gonna win. Of course, you're the big name, my man. You're taking the pin, but go put on a show. Yeah, figure it out. Okay, Seth, like, all right, what do you do? High five to this and figure it out. But the WWE doesn't want to do that. WWE is like, all right, you're taking a pin, you're taking the fall. We want this, and this. And that's it. And that's why you got like some crappy ass matches from Shinsuke and AJ, because they didn't let them do what they wanted, how they should have. Because from what I heard is when they did matches over in Japan, they were like top notch matches, and what we got over here was like nothing, not even close to that. It was like a neutered dog.
Notice
So,
we haven't
I mean-
seen Shinsuke since then.
No,
I feel like Shinsuke's just waiting for his contract to expire.
no. I heard he's happy. I heard
I heard he re-upped or something.
Yeah,
Really?
he doesn't want to
Mhm.
leave. He's gonna get paid good money, and he likes
That's
it
probably
here.
what it is. That's probably what it is. He's done everything he needs to do in his career, and he doesn't need a WWE title for that.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't
Same
need
thing with
that
Finn.
validation. Yeah. Finn's another guy that like everyone thinks should leave, but I think Finn's just like his legacy to him as Prince Devitt is better than anything he could do as Finn Balor. So it's like even if you look at
Yeah.
the demons that he had on the independent scene, he had like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, he had the whole Venom Spider-Man thing. Like, he's done the demon in so many really cool ways that like them doing it now with a headdress is just like, all right, cool, I'll do it, whatever, I don't care.
I'm getting paid.
And it's just kind of
So,
sad. It's just sad.
mhm.
I'm just sad.
Moving on. Kofi and Kevin Owens.
Decent match. They had a really rough job of following up after Seth and AJ, but like, it is what it is. It's just
It wasn't a bad match. It wasn't a bad match, but like you said, it's when you're following Seth and AJ and the match that they put on, it's like you
Yeah.
have to try and figure it out, and we'll talk more about that in the AEW match or card later.
Well, then to me, then it's like I'm still trying to figure out which title is if they're supposed to be on the same level,
Yeah.
then I don't know. Like something has to be done to Kofi's character to me.
Well, here's the thing. After this week, after what happened with Dolph, there's a rumor I heard supposedly that the whole Biggie getting jumped was a lead into him turning on Kofi and Woods.
Which is stupid.
That was something that I saw. I would rather that not happen.
I know. I
don't think it will. Personally,
especially
I think
considering
that one of those three guys will quit if they do that.
I would say I don't want to see them do that because they literally not only because of this, but this is probably the main reason they just did it. You legitimately just had Kevin Owens turn on Kofi Kingston. Why are you going to have another member of the New Day turn on Kofi Kingston? It's why are you telling the same story twice?
Actually, I heard that Dolph is only there because Daniel Bryan doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia.
It was that, and Kevin Owens did too.
Yeah, and so both those they needed another guy, and Dolph's like, "Well, I'm touring, so I guess I can go to Saudi Arabia." And
yeah.
Apparently, the thing is that they gave him too much money for him to refuse, but they want him to be an agent talent. He doesn't want to be an agent, so they came up with this compromise where it's like, when we need you, we'll call you, but you can tour and still get paid. So he's been touring as a comedian and just getting paid. So when they need him, they call him, like now.
Well, Here's the thing. I mean, Vince is desperate to keep everybody, so he'll budge here and there. You know, he won't do it like he did with Leo. Leo wanted like $600,000 a year. I think Vince is only giving him 3 or 4, something like that. He didn't want to give him that much. But so I could see him doing that with Dolph because Dolph has time in the company, but he's trying to maintain talent. And again, like I said before, I think Saudi Arabia is going to play in a lot of the storylines that people think. Like Daniel Bryan, it doesn't want to go. I think that's why he let Kofi win it. Now Kevin Owens says he wasn't going because Sammy can't go. So he's like, he can't go. I'm not going either. So there goes Kofi's extended feud with
respect
Kevin Owens.
Respect to him for doing that too. We're like, listen, y'all gonna keep my boy up out of there. I'm not going either because how am I going to sit up there and like, not stab him in the back, but not have his back.
Yep.
Not to mention, it's deeper than a job. Like that's Sammy's religion. Like that's his beliefs. And if you're gonna keep the guy out of the country for that, because dude would literally probably get killed in that country, like I'm not going either. Like if that's how y'all gonna do my boy, and y'all still gonna do business with these people, I'm straight, homie. I'm staying in Canada. Like I'm gonna take extended time.
I'm interested to see if they're gonna put on a women's pay-per-view only again this time this year.
No,
the women aren't going. The women aren't going. So you gotta.
They are. Yeah.
He's not gonna.
So I mean,
he's not gonna have them. He's not gonna pay them to sit home, and I doubt he's gonna put on a women's only house show at all. At that point, you might as well just freaking put another pay-per-view on. Evolution too.
And I mean, again, the pay-per-view wasn't terrible. They just didn't sell it the right way. Like they just they just booked it wrong.
They set themselves up for failure with Evolution. They sat up there first and foremost. If I remember correctly, Evolution took place in the Nassau Coliseum, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is a building over in New York that is legitimately falling apart.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that they refused to build anything heading towards that pay-per-view because all of their focus was on Crown Jewel.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, like, you sit up there and you put roadblocks in your own way, and then you're like, oh, well, this didn't do what we wanted it to do. No, idiot. You set yourself up.
Not to mention, who actually watched Crown Jewel? Like, I don't even remember actually watching it.
I know I sat up there, and at that point, I had already had because I remember Paul had helped me out with the subscription of his before. I have my own network subscription now. All right, I was just like, I had it at that point. I was like, I'm not watching this. I'm not watching this because this is
Literally-
right after that Jamal Khashoggi thing, and I'm like, no, I'm not sitting up here supporting some nonsense like this. This is stupid. They
Literally,
know it's
the only
stupid. They
reason why-
know it's immoral, but it's just like, oh well, money, 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 and this is what's gonna, drive everything going forward.
Literally, the only reason why I still have my subscription is I was dumb enough to cancel it right before one of the best NXT shows, and I'm like, I'm only keeping it for the NXT pay-per-views now. Like, if I feel like I'm interested in a main card pay-per-view, then cool. But I'm
Mhm.
only watching the NXT pay-per-views now. Like, to me, that's the whole reason. Like, to me, Velveteen Dream is literally one of my favorite wrestlers in the world right now.
Mhm.
And the fact that there's no build and he's gonna face Tyler Breeze has me way more excited than anything going on right now. Like,
Yep.
I don't even watch NXT weekly that much because it's just hard to keep up with because they literally just keep throwing talent out there, which
Mhm.
always is a good match. But it's just like I get annoyed because it's an hour and it'll just stop, and I'm like, ugh, God,
Mhm.
okay, this is gonna piss me off.
Yeah.
So I
But
just
it's
watch
like
the highlights on YouTube. So I'm like, all right, cool, got it, good.
Mhm.
it's like Benny said though. It's like they're pretty much have to do stories quickly before Vince snaps up the talent.
Like I'm literally waiting. I think there are certain people that Triple H is just really making untouchable now. Like, think about it this way: why is Shayna still in NXT? What is she doing?
Dominating.
Wow, it's undisputed still there.
Not even, bro. Like last time, like all they keep doing is they keep jumping people, and now they're trying to build her and Io Shirai. Now, if she beats Io Shirai, again, the only other person is Candice LeRae, which I would hate, and I think the only reason why Triple H would do it is to keep her down in NXT.
Yep.
Because as soon as she loses the title, Vince is gonna take her and do what?
Here's the thing. Now I'm thinking that said I want this person, that person. Says no, I don't want you picking them. So he goes, all right, can't have that person. Then I'll take that person.
Yeah.
Either you give me Shayna or I take Lacey. Your pick. Let me know which one I'm taking. I'm taking one of the two.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? Forget it. Just take Lacey. I'll keep Shayna down here.
Yeah. Because it's like,
Same
to me, the
problem.
four horsewomen thing is dead now.
But
With
see,
Sasha
think about
gone,
this too. Yeah,
it's dead.
think about this. You had Aleister Black, you had Ricochet go, you had John, and you had Tommaso go up. That's four. What other group of four is in NXT that could have gone all at once?
Undisputed Era.
Hey.
I think
Yeah.
I think Vince. I'm starting to think Vince wanted to put them up, and Hunter knew if he pulled them up, he would have ruined them. He would have ruined
Yep.
all their careers.
You
It's
would
like,
have
I'd
had
rather
another
you take
Nexus.
these- Even worse. Worse because of the fact that people know Ricochet, okay? People know Johnny, people know Tomas, people know Alistair. How many people know the people from Undisputed Era?
Pretty much your
Not
NXT fans.
Right. I think Trips was saying, you know what? I think Undisputed can't take the hit. I think Johnny Tommaso, Ricochet, and Alistair can take the hit more if they go up and Vince ruins them a little bit. I think they could take the hit because of the talents that they have athletic-wise. I don't think Undisputed will recover. I don't think Shayna could recover from bad booking. Lacey could get away with it because, of course, she's on the blonde, and we know Vince loves blonde, so she's an immediate push, as we saw.
Yep.
So I think there's a lot more in the background that we have to look. And again, it goes back to what I was going to say before. We have to start thinking about this. Even though WWE said we are all for the women, we're not. Like, again, women's evolution, it was badly booked. It was badly done. If you want something big, why not put in MSG? You have something in MSG already. Why not give them something? Now look what's going on. Now you had New Year's, you had Ring of Honor and New Japan. They're taking MSG. You had
Mhm.
Lucha AAA. They're putting a show in MSG. And she's like, you know what? WWE want to come no more? Fine, we'll open the doors for everybody else. They
Yep.
had an exclusive. Now it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
And I'm
what
telling
better
you,
else
once-
could you have done if you put a women's pay-per-view show, the first ever WWE women's pay-per-view show, in the Garden where WWE actually started?
There you
and
go.
they ruled. Like,
Or even if you wanted a smaller menu, you could have used the other venue that they had for Raw 25 or whatever. When they
The
had
Manhattan
split venue.
Center.
Yeah, they could have had the Manhattan Center if you want a smaller crowd.
well, that'd be too small though, because then now that at that point, then you're saying we don't believe that you can sell out a big place.
I mean, they gave them Nassau Coliseum. I think that was belief enough. I think that was a message in itself.
I mean, here's the other thing, because in this area, as far as professional arenas, you have Barclays, you have MSG, you have Nassau,
Right.
which, like I said, that's falling apart. And then on top of that, you have Prudential. You have Prudential Center, which is a professional arena. And if they because honestly, it is sad because I live out here and I drive past this thing almost every day. Is the Izod Center still open?
Is it really?
I'm not sure,
That's a
but if it is,
Oh,
but if it is,
And it would
why
and it
not?
would make more sense to have it in Jersey since you have a character built from New York. You have two actual wrestlers from Jersey.
Yep.
That you can actually bill as here's the Women's Evolution, here's the Four Horsewomen, and Mandy and Sonya, and you could have built stars around them coming home.
Mm-hmm.
The same way you did with Super Showdown and you did with the Iconics. It's
Yeah.
crazy to me that they'll do that for international talent, but they won't do that for national talent at all.
Nah.
Okay,
That is
so-
incredible to me. It makes
So-
you literally had Jinder Mahal win the title so that you can nail the Saudi Arabia deal, but you won't let a person win in their hometown.
Which is hilarious because Jinder Mahal is Canadian, but it's just,
Come on, bro. Matter of fact, what
So-
happened to Jinder, bro?
the jobber now.
he's probably running around trying to find our truth.
Yeah.
Why
Apparently,
does
the
our
ISOT
truth- why does-
We're
why
not
does
going
our
to get
truth
into.
brag? Can we-
So the ISOT Center closed down April 3rd, 2015. Apparently.
Yeah, on 2015. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, but
They closed
even
it
then,
down.
you still have Prudential Center,
Yeah.
and it's not like. And the thing is, when people look at Prudential Center, they're like, "Oh my God, Newark, New Jersey." But first of all, it's not in the projects. It's downtown Newark.
Right by Penn Station.
Listen, Newark's
It's
got
literally
Newark's got a
right
bad
by
rap,
Penn
bro.
Station.
Listen,
Like-
Newark's got a bad rap, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. If they would have said Prudential Center, I'm like, nope. That was my response.
And the crazy
Go
part
there.
about it is, if I remember correctly, wasn't SummerSlam there a couple of years ago?
Yeah, it definitely was.
It was some big. I believe it was SummerSlam or it was some other big pay per view that they had. Supposedly, it was going to be in there.
It wouldn't surprise me. But it's just,
So it's not like.
and people wonder why I'm so frustrated with WWE. It's like you just keep compounding stupid on top of stupid.
Yes.
Because it's not even just bad booking. It's a pure stupidity. And it's like, it's that smart kid that just does dumb stuff.
Yep.
Well, it's
Yeah,
like, bro,
Raw.
we know you're smart. You
Mm.
know you're smart. But the problem is you know you're smart. So you keep doing dumb stuff thinking that
Mhm.
you're smart. You're not that smart.
Yeah.
You're really not that smart.
And let's finish this off with the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. It was
90% of it was phenomenal.
Yep.
I'll
90% of it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
The last 5
The-
minutes, you can go kick rocks and jump off the Brooklyn Bridge for all I care.
this feels like this pretty much felt like what a writer goes through the whole thing, and then Vince is like, "Nah, screw it. This is what I want as the ending."
Yep.
The writer comes up with the whole story. It looks great. You're watching. It looks great, and then Vince goes like, "Oh, this is the ending." Shoots it down, puts it off.
Apparently,
And I'm
that
like-
UFC deal fell through too. which is another big reason why he's back.
I'm
Because the
I'm
UFC
just saying.
belts
It
also.
was no. There's a lot more to that UFC deal than what people realize. It was match. There was the match, and then Dana did some shady stuff now in regards to the UFC. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but the fighters aren't gonna get paid that much anymore. That way,
Mhm.
I forgot what it was. I have to look it up. So Brock pretty much said like, yeah, you know what? Nah, I'm not getting paid enough. I go to WWE. I show up
Oh
4 times
my
a year,
goodness.
and I get paid millions.
Which
And
for
Vince
him
just
is
lets
great.
it happen.
It's just a matter of, like I said, I can't sit up here and get mad at Brock
No.
because like if
Who
any
would-
of us were presented with
who-
that deal, every single one of us would take it 100 times out of 100. I'm
Yeah.
like, but my issue is the fact that number one, even if Brock was a full timer, to me, at this point in Brock's career, Brock needs to be putting on marquee matches that don't involve the championship.
Yeah. He needs to be Randy Orton.
When you bring back a guy like John Cena, have we seen John Cena in a championship match in the past year?
I haven't seen John Cena in the past year.
Well, aside
Outside of
from
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania.
Outside from WrestleMania.
In the
The
past
man's
2 years.
been he's been shooting Bumblebee for all I
Yeah.
know. You're right, he
With
was
the
actually pretty
except
good in Bumblebee too.
with the exception of the WrestleMania 29 thing where the Rock got the title from CM Punk, right? The times that the Rock has come back, has the Rock been in the championship match?
This is sharp.
Has Triple H outside of the Authority angle when he won his last championship back in 2016? Has he been in the title picture? And he wrestles The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, all of these guys, Kane.
Kurt Angle.
Any of these, there you go, Kurt Angle. All of these guys are from that era. Why the hell is Brock still in the title picture? The only
Not to
person,
mention he's doing squash matches too on top
Yeah.
of that. Like he's not even actually wrestling. He's doing squash matches.
you have, I want to say, 3 ready-made feuds for Brock Lesnar that don't involve any championship whatsoever. You have Bobby Lashley, you have Drew McIntyre, who I would love to see go up against Lesnar, and you have Matt Riddle. Although Matt Riddle, like I said, he's down in NXT, so you can't really do anything
I
great
would
just
love
yet.
to see Brock Lesnar show up to NXT. Like
And-
I'd
but
love
he
to see
never
Brock
would.
Lesnar fight Matt Riddle at a takeover. Tell me that wouldn't be bomb, no.
There
Like,
you
that would
go.
blow the roof off the place. Like Paul Heyman in NXT, Paul Heyman jabbing with Velveteen Dream is like Christmas where your mom cooks all your favorite foods and like you wake up and you just smell it and you just happy the whole day. Like that's what it sounds like to me. And they just did. But no, he has to have a title.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, why is him carrying around? Which, if you want to be, 100% honest with it, something that really does not mean anything,
No?
right? It's not an achievement because of the fact that it's not a physical, natural competition. You have a scripted outcome. So why is it that the WWE Championship or the Universal Championship, or in this case, the Money in the Boombox, why
She was
do
so
you have
corny.
to have?
Like, so corny, yo. Like he really comes out and does the whitest thing you can do on the face of the cosmos.
I'm looking at it.
Okay,
I'm
Slim
just wondering, why do you have to have the prop? As far as I'm concerned, I posed this question to y'all the other day for this reason. Is Brock Lesnar right now a Hall of Famer in the WWE? Both of y'all answered yes on his accolades alone.
Yeah.
My thing is, bro, what else do you have to gain, man? What else do you have to gain? And as far as I'm concerned, you look at the Vince side of the thing. If you could sit up here And let's say Brock Lesnar is your draw. Fine. Wouldn't you rather have two marquees than have one?
This picture just makes me so angry. This picture makes me so angry.
I was trying to ignore that. I was trying to ignore that. But I'm sitting up here and I'm saying, like, if you have a situation where you have somebody that's going to draw all kinds of money for a time slot between 10:30 and 11, all right? Why would you also put something else that is going to guarantee drawing you money in that exact same time slot? Put Brock Lesnar at 10:30 and 11. Okay, you think Brock Lesnar's a bigger draw than the Universal title? Okay, fine. Let's put the Universal title between 10 and 10:30. Now you have my attention for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have my attention for this half an hour because I'm sitting up here waiting for the Universal title and Brock Lesnar. I see them at two different times, so now you got my attention, you got my money. What's going on? As far as I'm concerned, you golden at that point.
It's literally like you can use him the same way you've used John Cena the last couple of years, the same way you used The Undertaker. We see The Undertaker like twice a year, and we've been doing that for like the last, 7 or 8 years, where Undertaker's just going to show up around a certain time of the year. If it gets to a point where like you get a guy like Samoa Joe that talks tough, that is out here just beating the crap out of everybody, and Brock Lesnar's music hits, and it's like, oh, okay, he's gotten to a point where he can face the beast. That storyline makes more sense to me if it's not for a title.
Mm-hmm.
If it's for the title, then it's just like, I just want to see the title. I don't care about Brock. I just want to see the title. Like at that point, the title is the draw for me. It's not Brock, because Brock's matches aren't entertaining anymore.
No, they haven't for years.
Yeah, like the last time he was entertaining was when he broke the ring and when he was out here doing shooting star presses on people. He hasn't done that since he lost to Allison Overeem. Like, come on.
I'll give you two, but it was more because of the fact that he actually really went into these matches caring. The match against AJ, and then the match against Daniel Bryan of Survivor Series. And even the match against Daniel Bryan, you kind of sort of just like, okay, we're talking half of that match. Because the first half of that match was Daniel Bryan getting thrown from one end of the ring to the other.
Yeah, like you act like Brock Lesnar doesn't have any offense. Like we've seen Brock Lesnar's offense throughout his career. Why all of a sudden is he out here throwing people like Big Show? Like, what?
Because they want to have that whole...
He's a fighter.
He's UFC fighter. And these are wrestlers. And I can do this.
Suck my cinnamon stick, bro. That's crap.
I looked it up.
Come on.
I figured out what the problem was with the UFC deal. They signed a brand new deal with ESPN, and ESPN's going to have all their pay-per-views. So before, what happened was with the fighters, it was they all got like incentives if like on door sales and pay-per-view sales. And now because of this new deal, it's like UFC getting paid no matter what the door does, no matter what the pay-per-view sales are. They're getting paid by ESPN. Cool. So they don't care no more. So they don't really have to push the cards as hard as they want to anymore. Mm-hmm. So the players are now like, crap. If there's no door sales, there's no pay-per-view sales, I'm not getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, the fighters can still promote the fights, but when you have a machine like UFC, they're the ones that have a bigger audience, you know? So
listen, if I'm Brock, I'm going to boxing. Like that. Like let Brock fight DeAndre Wilder. Like that's he'll get paid for that one. I'll tell you that much.
Oh man, but yeah, I mean, Brock is done, man. It's just Vince.
Everything about him is just like whenever he shows up, it's like I immediately want to turn my TV off.
Yep.
It's just like it's an eye roll. Like I literally have not watched since WrestleMania because it's like okay, I'm gonna let them build a story and tell a story so that by the time we get to the next pay-per-view, it's a story I'm invested in. What do? They bring Brock back and everything they're investing is for the Saudi Arabia house show because that's what it is. It's not a pay-per-view, It's a house show.
And
Like,
they
I
call
don't
it it's
care
going to
about
be
your house
just
show.
as good or better than WrestleMania.
So Brock's
Yeah,
gonna
whatever.
lose, is what you're saying. So Brock's gonna lose. Cool, got it.
And here's the thing: I lost everything for Brock. Like I completely put it down when I heard Dean talk about like how he had a great match plan for both of them. How he went through everything, and then when he brought up with Brock, Brock was like, "Nah, we're doing it my way. We're doing it this and this." And Dean's like, "Well, that's what you always do. Let's make it different. Let's give the crowd something different." He was like,
Mhm.
"Nah, this is what we're doing." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, this guy just Vince just screwed him up because Vince paid him so much money. So he's like, I'm just doing what I want to do because I'm
Yep.
getting paid no matter what. So I
Because
want what's
he has all
easier
the
for
power.
me. Yeah, I want what's easier for me, and I'm out of here.
Mhm.
That's why, like,
That's why I believe what happened at WrestleMania. He was fit because he wasn't the main event. I think that was serious, and I just think they just played it out into like, you know what? Let's put it into a storyline. But I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that was 100% serious.
Oh yeah, all the talking and everything like that. Nobody knew. That's why if you look at the way Hulk Hogan looked, him and Alexa Bliss looked when Paul Heyman walked past them, they were like, "What's going on?" Because our segment just got cut short. That was decided like almost at that point right there.
Yeah.
So
And I think I don't get it too because like there's videos and then there's mention like how Brock is an asshole to Vince, and I'm like, dude, like I understand you're a businessman, business partner, but this guy doesn't care, bro. He don't
Yep.
care. He just
bro,
doesn't care.
my whole thing is, yes, he's one of the best combat athletes. Granted. Yo, nobody was talking to you, Siri. Siri really be out here on her gangster flow, like, bro.
She's
Nobody was
agreeing with
talking to
you.
you, G.
She's agreeing with you.
I understand that, but nobody told you to talk, bro. I done lost my train of. Oh yeah, he was gone for mad long. We were okay when he was gone.
Yep.
He popped up. Oh, this is dope. That means he can fight this guy and that guy, and he can work with mid carders and build mid carders. What did they do? Oh, we're gonna put him in a championship, bro. You not there no more, bro. You not sunset flipping. You not out here actually wrestling people no more. Like, you're not a wrestler. You're literally just here because you have a name that you made for yourself in UFC. And even in UFC, you still got beat by a dude that never punched you, bro. Like, you died off 2 kicks because of whatever health issue you claim to have. That joint don't seem to be bothering you now. All of a sudden, now you're healthy and can go.
He doesn't cut weight.
Listen, I'm still kicking him in his groin, no matter what. Oh, you don't want to do the match my way? I'm punching you in your dick. Like, no, we're going to reactivate this because you're going to go on this show for about another 6 years. Mess with me if you want. I'd have pulled the Dean Ambrose and pulled the barbed wire wrapped around my wrist. Make sure, yes, you better. Only thing that's going to be left for is for you to pump kids in the Sable. That's it.
Oh, man.
Terrible.
I honestly,
it's sad because it's like 2 or 3 matches in the show were actually good. It was both the men and the women's Money in the Bank match and the Universal title match. The rest were okay, but like whatever. But the end of the Money in the Bank and the beginning of Money in the Bank made the thing terrible. Terrible.
I'm just like I said, I honestly, I really just feel so bad for every other participant in that men's Money in the Bank match. When you look at what Finn Balor put himself through in that match, when you look at what Ricochet put himself through in that match, I'm just like,
good God,
like, granted, all right, when you've been watching wrestling as long as guys like us have, you understand that these things are gimmick so that they do break. But it's not like you're landing on a crash mat. You're still
these are still real ladders, bro.
It's still real
ladders. You're still getting thrown on a ladder. Like, bro,
it's still gonna hurt.
Half of us would be in a bed for 3 weeks after 1 minute in one of these matches. These dudes put on 30-minute matches, show up the next day. Like, much respect, salute to them. And you get a guy like Brock Lesnar that's just gonna climb up, take no bumps. No, nothing.
And then sit up there and this is what this is going back to the Sonya Deville thing from earlier. Sonya Deville climbed the ladder with another full-bodied human on her shoulders. Brock Lesnar took a look at that ladder, and it took him 3.5 hours to climb up this ladder because he was so scared that he couldn't balance himself the way he wanted to. Bruh, no respect at all.
None.
No respect at all.
None.
Look,
None.
I mean,
That's the
Especially,
bricks, bro.
remember. Go ahead.
Especially because of the Ali and Drew McIntyre thing.
Yeah.
They said that Ali found out as he was about to walk through the curtain that he was not winning, that the plans had changed, that somebody was going to be running in, and they were going to be the one that took the briefcase. That's on some WrestleMania Sasha and Bailey nonsense.
Yeah.
Like that is the worst kind of employee relations I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. I mean,
It's just it's not even bad to a point where like, oh, this is a bad idea. It's borderline disgusting.
but see,
It's
here's
disgraceful.
the thing.
Really, bro? Like,
Here's the
really?
thing. You took Sami Zayn out. You hung him upside down. Okay, great. That was a great way to bring in Bray Wyatt in the.
Bray
I mean, you had the crowd. You had the crowd
Like,
yelling,
bro.
"Yowie Wowie!"
Yes.
Like I was waiting. Like when Mustafa was climbing, I was waiting for the lights to go out, and Bray just to show up like at the bottom or the top of the ladder,
Yep.
like just arms
Like,
out,
you
and
want
just looking at him
ratings.
and
That's
yelling,
what you do for
"Yowie
ratings.
Wowie!" And
Yep.
bam, and he brings the briefcase.
That's ratings. Like, that's wrestling. That
Like,
would have been the perfect
if-
wrestling moment.
I was Mustafa Ali. I'd be like, all right, cool, because you know what? It's a guy that's been here for years. He's getting a big break. He's getting boom. But you then but if you tell me it's Brock, I'd be like, really?
Really?
Brock?
We're going to go out there and we're going to kill ourselves for this part-timer that doesn't even
Yeah.
respect you.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
he don't even respect you. He doesn't respect the company. He don't respect nobody. It's a check to him. All right, send him
Yeah.
on sabbatical then. You want to sit up here and not pay. We want to sit up here and extend Luke Harper and give Luke Harper all these problems. You want to give Sasha all these problems. We would have no problem for you to let Brock Lesnar sit at home and you pay him whatever amount of money you paying him. We'd be perfectly okay with that, Vince. That as a great executive decision.
Yep.
Yeah.
Treat your actual employees like real people and like real artists, because that's what you claim they are. If you're talking about their sports entertainers,
Yep.
let them entertain. This is not entertaining. This is literally the season between that and the season finale of Game of Thrones, bro. Like, what are y'all doing? What are you doing?
All right. We have to cut it off now. Before Jaquan goes on a Game of Thrones rant on a 3 count. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this Money in the Bank results. We're coming back with the AEW double nothing results and our thoughts on that show. All right, Jaquan, Benny, we'll see you next time.
Barb.